All right, as folks continue to join us, we'll get started here for the evening. Thanks again for making time to join us tonight on our February Ruska Falls Leaders Update. Before we begin, just wanted to remind everyone about a few things. First of all, again, this is being presented via the Zoom webinar format. So that means that you'll be able to communicate with us through the Q&A, but that will be the only way that you'll be able to communicate with us. So as you have questions, please use that Q&A feature in the Zoom on the bottom of your screen there. This is also being recorded, so if you're watching it now and want to look back at it, or you want to be able to share the information that we present tonight with other folks in your troop, or you want to send it out to your district or other folks in your council, you'll be able to do that. So we'll be providing the Zoom link. And there's also going to be a link to the recording on YouTube as well. As always, if you ever need to contact us, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@ruscafalls.org. That's the best way to get a hold of us as the leadership team. So I encourage you to use hello@ruscafalls.org. All right, let's kick this thing off and let's get started. Our first piece tonight is to introduce the team. I'm here tonight. My name is John Bickle. I'm our Director of Outdoor Adventures. I'm thrilled to be with everybody and really appreciate that you're joining us at Ruska Falls this summer. Can't wait to see you in camp in a few months. Get the snow off the ground, and we'll be in great shape. Probably at that point, we'll be wishing for colder weather. But hey, while it's snowing, we want the warm, and when it's warm, we want the snow. So, looking forward to having all the snow melt and getting a chance to get everyone in camp this summer. So, thanks again for signing up and for joining us at Ruska Falls this summer. I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing our Ruska Falls leadership team. Steve Mock, our camp director, returning for his sixth summer as camp director. Jerry Reed, assistant camp director, returning for his 52nd summer on camp staff. Matt Gutterman, our other assistant camp director. Matt, I think this is about 18 years on camp staff, if I'm not mistaken, for you. So thrilled to have Matt back with us. Jake Walsh is our program director this year. Last year, Jake was our assistant program director. So pleased to introduce and welcome Jake into his role as the program director. And Sky Kramer will be serving as Jake's assistant. She's not able to join us tonight, but we're thrilled to have Sky as part of the leadership team again as well. And as I shared, my name is John Bickle. I'm our director of outdoor adventures for the Cradle of Liberty Council. And also, a lot of people interact with Kim Trainer. If you email camping@scoutingphilly.org, 99.9% of the time you're going to be communicating with Kim when you're emailing back and forth or when you call into the office about a black pug question. Kim's gonna be that person that you're working with. So we always like to make sure that everyone knows who everyone is. So thrilled to have the leadership team here with us and present all of this information. Thankful that each of you are joining us tonight and look forward to a great summer. I'm going to turn it over to Steve, our camp director.
All right, thank you, John. Very excited for what we have in store for both this evening and the summer ahead. Walking through tonight's agenda, I'm going to touch upon a couple different ideas as we go through here. We're going to talk about some key steps in preparing for camp, things to make sure that you're ready for as we get ready. Get ready for the summer that we're going to have. We're going to have some important dates and reminders to kind of mark on your calendars and make sure that you're thinking ahead on a couple things. And then we're going to have a little taste of our program, right? Little snippets here and there as we go through. And of course, we'll wrap up with any major questions that people have. If you have questions as we're going along, make sure you're using that Q&A feature that John mentioned. We'll be happy to answer questions as we go. Some things we might hold out and not answer right away. That's just because we might be touching upon it later in the meeting, right? Or it might be something big that we want to address with the whole group out loud. As we're getting ready to get ready for the summer, there's a couple things we need to make sure that we're thinking about. Okay, our Scouting America registration requirements, right? So all leaders attending camp must be registered with Scouting America in the unit that they're attending camp with, right? So if you have somebody that's registered as a adult leader in a pack and they are coming to camp with the troop, or they're maybe the troop's unit commissioner, right? They still have to be registered on that troop's roster as an adult leader in that troop. All scouts that are attending camp must be registered within scouting. Okay. It's very, very important, right, that we're making sure that we're following all these rules and these guidelines so that everyone can have a safe time in camp. We have our roster verification checks, right? We look to verify the rosters that are being registered, the rosters of people registered to attend camp against your unit's roster that is in my.scouting. That is something that if you are a Cradle of Liberty Council unit, we have the ability to do before you arrive in camp. We still ask that everyone to bring out a printed copy of their my.scouting roster, and we review that at check-in to make sure that everyone is registered and listed with that proof of registration, right? And we'll touch upon that again as we get closer to camp, an additional pre-camp leaders meeting, as well as there are guideline directions on how to do that on our website, right? And you can find that as well if you need some help getting that my.scouting roster. Continuing this year, we're going to have several pre-camp medical review days. So to help speed up your check-in process, members of our council camping and health and safety committees have put together a variety of days to come to our Cradle of Liberty Council office in King of Prussia, and they will review your medicals in advance, right? Those dates are May 30th, June 13th, June 20th, June 27th, and July 11th. There'll be specifics around the times that we sent out later for each of those days. The idea is that you come with your unit's medicals complete, right? That includes the annual health and medical record from Scouting America. That includes our Cradle of Liberty Council drug administration record, right? Any additional forms that might be required for unit medication storage or allergy action plans and things like that. And you will come on one of those days to the council office, right? And have those be checked and reviewed by somebody ahead of time. We ask that you come and you bring them in person, not mail them ahead, because if there's issues, right, we want to make sure that we can give them right back to you and maybe handle that live right in person right then and there, as opposed to having them mailed to us and then we have these forms that have problems and trying to get them back to people and things like that. So we don't ask that you send them, we ask you to come with them and review them in advance of your arrival to camp on one of those dates. And then just like regular summer camp, turning them in at the beginning of the week, right? They'll be returned to you after your week at camp, just like regular medical forms. But it's one quicker step in the check-in process, having those reviewed ahead of time. And we're up to 5 dates for that this year. So lots of opportunity to definitely take advantage of that, to come to the council office and have those reviewed. Those dates, some of that check-in information, as well as a bunch of other things that we're going to be talking about this evening, that is all located in our program guide. We rolled out the program guide a little under a month ago. All kinds of key details, fun and exciting information. And it's your guide to your magical week in camp, playing off our theme here that we have set up that Jake's going to touch upon in a little bit. But definitely make sure, check out that program guide if you have not shared it with your scouts, share it with your other leaders, share it with parents. That's the ultimate resource for everything that you need to know about a week at Resica Falls. At this point, I'm going to toss it over to Matt Gutterman, who's going to walk us through some key dates that are ahead of us this spring.
Thanks, Steve. We're looking forward to an exciting spring leading up to a jam-packed summer. Here's some key dates to keep in mind as we approach the summer. So March 31st, everyone's program deposit is due. So that's an additional $150 paid per scout. meaning $200 need to be allocated to each scout in Black Pug. This will allow them to register for programs when program registration opens up in early April. Each scout needs that required payment there in order for them to be able to register. We also want to remind everyone that April 1st is our campership deadline. The council has a lot of camperships available for anyone who needs assistance attending camp this summer. You can find more information about that on the Resica Falls website on the important documents page. On April 11th, we'll begin opening program registration. This will include registration for merit badges, Resica Rangers, and all of our senior scout programs, Cope, ATV, High Five, those sort of things. By default, only the registration contact within Black Pug can register for these programs. We recommend that you turn on the parent portal to allow others in your unit to help with registration, and we'll send out additional information about how you can do that and what to expect for program registration day in the coming weeks and leading up to that day. Mark your calendars for April 14th. That'll be the next edition of our Leaders Update here. And that one is geared towards our SPLs. So we ask that you invite your youth leaders as well as attend yourselves. And we'll be focusing on all the program and preparing SPLs for their job in camp during that week. Our program team will do a deep dive into all the different program offerings that are happening, opportunities for your SPLs to lead the unit, and what they can expect to occur throughout their week in camp. On May 15th, the full payment is due. We require the full payment to make campsite assignments and check-in assignments. So if you haven't camped at Resica before, it's important to know that we assign campsites based off of unit size and preferences that we ask for you via the pre-camp survey. That pre-camp survey will open a lot closer to our next leaders update. Again, you can look for email updates from us about when to expect that. But you won't receive your campsite assignment or check-in assignments until you've paid in full. And lastly, we'll have one last leaders update on May 21st. That'll be an opportunity for you to ask any additional questions that we haven't covered in either the program guide, the two webinars leading up to it, or haven't answered via our other methods. So come prepared with questions, and we'll be excited to help you plan your weekend camp. Like I said earlier, this is a jam-packed spring for us. We have more opportunities this spring to have scouts in camp than we've ever had before. And as always, we could use some help getting camp in tip-top shape and ready for everyone to spend their time in camp. So March 21st, April 18th, and June 13th will be service days throughout camp. One of the benefits of your unit participating in a service day is that if you come for the weekend, you'll receive a campsite for free. We've had a lot of questions recently from units that are staying on weekends looking for activities and things to do in camp. And this is an easy weekend that your unit can plan where we'll have things lined up for you to do and not a whole lot of effort needs to go in. And of course, you get that campsite for free. So at this point, I'm going to toss it back over to Jake, I believe, to talk about some program.
Yep. Program. First up, as you can see there, civics. We're going to be moving it this year. Hoping to get started with Brenner Lodge. We're moving it down to the fly fishing field, so it'll be a lot closer to many campsites that way. Beyond that, we're also adding some merit badges. Automotive maintenance is going to the shop. Disregard that it says civics there. It is going to the shop. We're bringing climbing back. That'll be at our Cope course. And multi-sport, that it's a new badge. It came out, I think, around this time last year. We're going to be throwing that over at sports as well. The merit badge schedule is now posted on resicafalls.org/important documents. So head over there to make sure you check that out so you can see where we've positioned these badges so you can start getting ready for that program registration. Speaking of the climbing merit badge, our senior scout programs, Cope is back again. We're putting it up. It'll be an all morning program. We have our high five club. This is changing to just be afternoons. And we have our ATV course, which will be all morning as well as an afternoon section for scouts 14 and up. As Matt said before, that online program registration is opening April 11th at 9 a.m. And each scout must have that 200 prepaid deposit, so the additional 150 to make sure that they can register for these programs. And again, we highly advise that we enable that parent portal to allow for that self-registration. It helps make things so much easier, so it's not just one person trying to get around doing the whole thing themselves for, potentially 20, 30 scouts. And next up, that of course is just a taste of our program. A lot of the quick changes that we've made, additions that we have to our program this year. Next up in April, we will have our SPL update. So we encourage that you have your youth leadership join. Sign up for that April 14th. It'll be 7 p.m. just like tonight's. We'll have more specific program info, a more detailed outline of what's going to be happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Overall, we look forward to having you come to camp this summer to experience the curse of Mystic Waters. Now I'll toss it over to Steve for our general Q&A section.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake. Lots of different things, lots of exciting things happening. A couple questions we've gotten right now, particularly around camperships, right? So we do have campership opportunities, like Matt mentioned, with the deadline on April 1st. We primarily look to give priority to camperships for in-council scouts from the Cradle of Liberty Council. However, if there is money left over, we do award some camperships to scouts from out of council that have need. So if there is true need, highly encourage some people to put in some applications to help get some more scouts to camp if you are from an out of council unit, if possible. There's no guarantees, no promises with any camperships, whether in council or out of council. But it's a guaranteed no if you don't fill out an application. So if there is need, definitely make sure that you put in that application by April 1st so they can be reviewed. So Jake mentioned that our April 11th, or sorry, our April 14th meeting is going to be much more program focused, right? So we're going to talk specifically about the different aspects of the daily program and stuff. We'll have information going on with each of the different adventures that we have for the afternoons, trips to Fossil Rock and Cool Dip, right? Talking about some of the cooking demonstrations and other stuff that's happening. So those details will start to come into play around that April leaders update. The April 11th sign up is for your merit badges, for your ATV, Cope, Resica Rangers, right? There's no pre-advanced sign-ups for any of those afternoon programs until you get to camp, right? But we'll be providing more details around those programs at the April meeting. Question about parent registration, right? So anyone that is spending a significant amount of time overnight in camp has to be registered. If there's somebody coming up for a couple hours to drop something off that's been left, right, or a little parent visit or something like that, that's an acceptable thing. Any visitor would have to sign in at the camp office. But if anyone's going to be spending an overnight in camp, they have to be registered with the unit as an adult, whether as an assistant scoutmaster, committee member, something like that. Right. Matt mentioned that we will be giving out campsite assignments and check-in times as the summer gets closer. and looking for some information on our pre-camp survey for each unit about maybe some preferences and things like that. So once that survey becomes live, and it'll be part of your actual Black Pug registration. So there'll be questions there that you'll be able to fill out and provide us with some information. And we'll take that and we'll look at how we're going to assign campsites and things like that based upon your requests. We do what we can. There's no promises when it comes to campsite assignments. Lots of stuff that goes into to making sure we can make it all work as we go along. And you know, those will come out well in advance of your arrival at camp. So don't worry about that. One of the things that we ask on that survey is about if your unit is coming with a trailer or not. So troop trailers, we kind of take that into account. Some of our sites we can get some trailers into the campsite. Others we can get it close. Others it's just not possible to get a trailer into a campsite. So we try and take that into account when we're making campsite assignments. But at the same time, right, you should be able to get your troop trailer close enough to unload any gear that's in it. And then we can't leave the trailer in or near the site. We'll move it out and handle that accordingly, right? We do not allow any vehicles to remain in the campsite, right? You can drop the trailer and leave if the trailer is going to be in the campsite or near the campsite, but we ask that then any vehicles that towed that trailer or any vehicles, period, right, come out and then park in one of our parking lots as assigned. So whether that's in the upper parking lot by the trading post, right, or a lower parking lot at the bottom of the hill at the fisherman's parking lot. And those details will be kind of provided to you and directed around check-in. And we'll go over a detailed check-in overview when we have our May leaders update, giving everyone specifics around that. Right. So I mentioned that we'll assign check-in times at the early part of June, right? So if anyone is looking to travel a long distance, right, we take that into account. And we can handle some of those special requests, maybe coming in a day earlier or something like that for long travelers. Handle that on an individual basis. Okay. Matt, do you want to talk real quick about the parent portal again?
Yeah, absolutely. So the parent portal is an option within BlackPug that allows units to let parents or other assistant leaders in the unit register their scouts for merit badges. By default, that portal is turned off, and we won't go in and turn that on if we get a request from a parent. We'll only do that if we get that request from a registration contact. You also have access within your registration to enable that portal. So if you want to be able to handle registration entirely within your unit leadership, that's completely an option, and that's the default option within BlackPug. If you have a larger unit and you want to be able to help spread out that load, I would recommend enabling that parent portal, and that'll let you and your parents sign up for badges a little bit quicker, and give more people access to do that merit badge registration.
Great, Matt. Thank you. Couple different questions coming in here. Some of this stuff we're definitely going to make sure we touch upon at a future leaders update, probably around that April one. So dietary issues, food, things like that. We'll have a special dietary form that we'll make sure people are shared with people, and then talking about our menus and things like that at the April leaders update. So definitely look out for more details around that, as well as information about scouts with merit badge registration and so on. Disability accommodations, right? We accommodate as best as we possibly can. So if there are special needs, special requests, please make sure that you note those on the pre-camp survey. That's part of the Black Pug registration. And if there's additional questions, needs, things like that, you can reach out to us at hello@resicafalls.org, and we'll be happy to work with you and help in any way that we can, as best as we can. Going to give it another minute here in case anyone's typing any additional questions. Oh, there's another question. So with scout medication, right, there are two options. Okay. Scouts can the unit can decide to have scout medication stored in the health lodge and administered through the health lodge, or the unit can decide that they're going to take the responsibility and administer the medications for the scouts in the campsite. We'll provide you with a lockbox to keep the medication in the campsite. Leader keeps that in his tent, locked up in their tent, and then we only ask that you fill out our unit medication storage release form saying that the unit's taking the responsibility for administering medications. Okay. And that medication storage release form and some details around medical forms and everything, that's all outlined in the program guide. There's a couple pages talking about how many copies of each form that we need, making sure that we have all parts A, B, and C filled out. Those details are outlined in the program guide as well if you want to read a little further and on some of that information on those medical forms and things like that. All right. We do allow adult leaders for registrations to come for partial weeks. Okay. When you look and get into the Black Pug registration with adults, you can sign adults up for a partial week adult, and then you can select the days in which they're going to be in camp. That's extremely important for us for making sure that we assign enough spots and tents for a campsite assignment, enough seats in the dining hall and things like that. So having people signed up as partial week leaders in Black Pug is extremely important. We don't have a partial week scout sign up or anything like that. But if there's an individual case that we need to handle, we'll be happy to work with the troop and figure out what we need to if there's an extenuating circumstance or things like that. Right. So our next meeting that will be happening in April will include all the details around program, all the camp-wide competitions, things relating to the theme, all that kind of stuff. So lots of exciting things happening with the April meeting, and that's why we said invite the SPL too. Share the link with them to sign up, so that way they can be involved and hear the exciting things that are going to be happening and be able to take that back to the troop and help to plan the week in camp that is ahead. All right, that looks like it's wrapping up most of our questions at this point. So as we go through and wrap up for this evening, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Very, very excited for the summer that is ahead. We're going to share the recording from this call in the coming days. So that'll be posted on our social medias. It'll be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Resica Falls, and we'll make sure that gets shared out with everyone that's registered for summer camp. Again, don't forget that April 14th date for our next leaders update. That'll include all the program info with your senior patrol leader. Checking the program guide at resicafalls.org/documents as well as other resources as they get published and put together. That's going to be there for you to make sure that you can check out all those things. And if you have additional questions after this, you can reach out to hello@resicafalls.org. We're pretty on top of answering questions at this time of year as best as we can. So we'll make sure that we are getting you answers that you need. If it's something program related, right? Jake or Sky will be on top of it. If there's a registration question that you need some help with, we'll direct you to Kim, or maybe we'll be able to answer it ourselves. But hello@resicafalls.org. It's definitely the best way to reach out to us. So we'll look forward to hearing from you. Look forward to seeing you in April and see you in camp. Thanks for coming.